Hello, welcome to another session of Microsoft Excel. Till now, we have been learning about the important functions and formulas of Microsoft Excel. We have learned about sum, average, multiplication, subtraction. Now, we will be learning about division today. And division is a very interesting function. And like subtraction, it also does not have a formula. Now, let's begin our session for the day to understand division. So, as said, we will be learning about division today. Now, why do we use division? Like arithmetic operators, sum, multiplication, subtraction, average, division is also very important. You can, let's say you want to distribute about 100 copies of magazines to your team, and your team is about 20 people. How are you going to distribute it? A very, uh, you know, already because you will be knowing division, you will be knowing that you will be dividing 100 by 20 and you will be distributing 5 copies to 20 members, right? So 5 copies each. But what we will be learning here is how to use division in Microsoft Excel. And like that we did in multiplication as well, we will also see how to do it with a constant number. Now, for division, there is no formula. Like subtraction, we use hyphen. For multiplication, we use the asterisk. Here, we will be using the forward slash. Now, how do you locate forward slash? If you see your keyboard, you will be able to see two types of slash. One just above enter. So where the enter key is, you will just above that will be able to locate the backward slash. While just beside shift, so on your right hand side of the keyboard where shift is, you will be able to locate the forward slash, right? So that is forward slash, and right above enter is your backward slash. Make sure whenever you're using the keyboard, you locate it properly and you try out that the arithmetic operator, which is the forward slash, is working and that is not the backward slash. Now, how do you divide the numbers in a cell? You divide the numbers in a cell by using the forward slash. Now, it's very important to know that you have, because what you have to do is, let's say, for example, you have to take a larger number and you want to divide it with the other number. You can simply write equals to this divided by this number and you will get the answer, right? It's not that you have to also put the cell and select a cell there. No, you will be able to divide any numbers with any numbers depending on what the what is your outcome. Now, another thing that you also need to understand is there are times when you might get a remainder or a different answer where it's not properly divisible, right? So what you have to do there is you have to make sure the whole answer will be coming in the decimal point and you have to choose the number of decimal points that you want to select, right? So let's see how to use the division formula. So we'll go to Microsoft Excel. So let's say I put 100 and 50 here, and I can simply do equals to 100 divided by 50. You get 2. Now understand one thing. Here I haven't selected any cell. What I just did is 100 divided by 50. So make sure you're always inserting equals to, right? If not, 50, you see, you won't get any answer here. So equal to sign is very, very important for your division to work, right? So if you put equal to here, if you insert an equal to here, you will get the answer here itself. And what you have to do is, let's say for example, another thing that I can do is I'll select this cell, right? Click here, insert the forward slash and select this, right? And equals to, you will also get the answer. So here this one equals to this one and you will get the answer as well. So this is how you can do division in Microsoft Excel, right? Another way to do it is, let's say equal to, select this cell and then put the forward slash, the other cell, and insert close bracket, and you will also get the answer. So you can also insert brackets, the open bracket and the close bracket. You can also just write the numbers if you want to, but make sure that you are using the equal to sign before you're applying the division formula. Now, let us understand how to do it with a constant number. So let me put numbers here. I'm going to be putting random numbers. As you can see, I've put inserting and I want to divide this by 50, right? So what you can do is equal to, right? The open bracket. So you insert the open bracket, then put the cell and put the slash again, insert this number, put a bracket, 20 here, right? And you see this black colored plus sign, and you drag it. You see it's not come. Why hasn't it come? Because I didn't select this. So instead what you have to do is to get the constant numbers, is, let's say put equal to, enter, open, insert open bracket, select this cell, right? Put, insert the forward slash and write 50. And you insert the close bracket. Press enter, right? Now go here, select here, then drag this black color plus sign down and you see you have got the answer here. As you can see, it has already come with the remainder. So that has come with the decimal point. So these are the decimal points that you see, right? And depending on your requirement, you can also format this. To format this, you require, go here, select, then go to format cells, then go to number, and it can be up to 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, 4 decimal places, depending on your requirement. So let's see if I want to put 4 decimal places, that I can apply to all of them all together. So drag this and you see everything has come into 4 decimal places, right? We just have to drag. You can apply the conditional formatting in one part and you can drag them. So all of the numbers will get updated depending on your decimal requirement. Again, what you have to do is go here, go to this number, do a right click on your mouse, go to format cells, go to number, because general is your default category. Go to number and you can adjust the decimal places here. You can, depending on your requirement. Let's say I put 3 and I do OK. So you see there are 3 decimal places. Now you see this plus sign that we have been using to drag. And all of the numbers get updated at the same time. So this is how you do the division, right? So this is done. So this is how you will be dividing. Again, to do division, the one way to do it is, I'm going to show it again. It's a 306. You can do equal to 300/6. No brackets required, no cell selecting required. You press enter, right? The other way to do it is equals to, insert an open bracket, select this, click here and insert the /, select this, click here, press and insert close bracket, and you get the answer as well. To divide this, let's say I want to divide this numbers with 5. What I have to do is equal to, insert open bracket, because 5 is my constant number. I'll insert this, insert the /, then write 5, close the bracket. And as you can see, then you have to drag this dark colored, black colored plus sign, drag it down till you want all the results, and you will get all the answers that you required. Because there are reminders, you are getting your answer not in a fraction format, but in a decimal format. Yes, so this is how you will be using the division formula in Microsoft Excel. Now, a very important thing that you should be knowing is, why are we inserting the equal to sign? Because if you're not, let's say you're not putting it as, if you're not inserting equal to sign, it might just consider a date. Now, if you have seen dates also come with a /, right? So you have the date, month, and the year, or month, date, year, date, month, year, month, date, depending on the combination that you would want it to be in as per your requirement, right? So your dates always has / there. Most of the times you will see the dates are given /. For example, if today is 15, then it will be 15/06/2022, right? If you are doing this, if you want double division and all, this might just be considered as a date. But always insert equal to whenever you are doing any sort of formula, because then that means you are looking for an answer there, right? Then it won't be considered as a date. Yes, so always, irrespective of doing division, multiplication, for any reason, some subtraction, average, just add a equal to sign there. Specifically for division, if you don't add an equal to sign, it might just be considering, the Excel might be considering that you have inserted a date, and you would not want that. To know more about division and how to do division, do visit support.microsoft.com. Also, when you get some time, do try to finish a course on Microsoft Excel in Microsoft Learn. Thank you. Welcome to Microsoft Excel session. We have been learning about all the important arithmetic operators and functions that are out there. We started with sum, average, multiplication, and division. Now, there are more formulas in Microsoft Excel than we have done today. A lot of formulas are more complex and is also for specific use. For example, scientific formulas, statistical formulas are something that we will be learning in the next couple of sessions. But now that we have learned the basic formulas, we also need to know how are we going to copy the formulas. Because sometimes what happens is you just want to copy those formulas and keep on adding it so that you get the viewed result that you want. To do, to do that, what we need to do is we need to learn do the how to copy the formulas from one column or one row to another row. So let's begin our session for the day. We will be learning about copying formulas. Now, when we copy formulas, you should know one thing, that the cell reference is bound to change. For example, let's say if you're copying a formula and you want to keep on applying that same formula in other columns as well. Are you planning to be inserting each and every time that formula? No. The best way to do it is that you drag that formula or you copy paste it, right? So, but you have to make sure that your cell reference is also changing, because you do not want the same answer as you have got in the other rows or columns. So basically, whenever you are adding the formulas, not every row and every column that you are computing are going to have the same result, right? So to understand that, you need to make sure that you are adding the proper cell ranges and your cell reference has also changed. Now we will be understanding what is the cell reference, which you already know. So I'll just briefly be describing to you how to do the cell reference, and then how to copy formula. So let's begin our session. So we'll go back and let us open the Microsoft Excel. Now you see, we have been working with so many numbers. So let's say, for example, we have decided to, I'll insert some more numbers here. Okay. So let me add I have added so many numbers here. Now let's say I want to do a sum of this. So what am I going to do? Equal to, yeah, I will add the sum, insert the first bracket, select this cell, select this cell. 1 second, I selected the wrong cell first. Select this cell, go here, insert the colon, select this cell, the last cell that I want to get addition of, insert close bracket and enter. I have got my answer here, right? So the sum of this many numbers is this answer. Now, let's say, for example, I want to copy this formula. Okay, so you select this formula, go to home, and you do copy. You come here, and you enter the same formula, right? So let's say copy, and you will get the same formula being added here. Again, let's say I want to do something else. So this all I want to add them by 780. Right? To do this is put equal to sign, put sum or anything, any other formula that you would want. And let's say I want to do plus 780. Press enter, right? And you get the answer. Now, what you have to do is, are you going to be again doing equals to select this plus this? No. Go here. If you go at the corner of the cell, so at the right hand corner, you'll see one plus sign. You drag this down and you will get answer to all of them. For example, if you click here, you see that the formula has got copied. You select here. Select 1 second. Yeah. If you select here, you will see the formula has got copied, right? So all of them has got copied. You just have to drag and make sure that you are dragging the right formula. Again, I'm going to show you. For example, I have taken all these numbers, right? And I want them to be divided by 79. Yeah. Then what am I going to do is equal to, because there's no division function, insert open bracket, select this number, enter open slash, then write 79, insert close slash, and press enter. You see there are always two types of plus icon that you can see. One is the white one with a black border, and the second one is this black colored plus sign. You drag this plus sign till down and you will get all your answers here, right? Now, because these are reminders, again, this has come into 0.493. Now, always remember, whenever you're copy pasting even the formula, or dragging it down, you're making sure that you're writing the formula properly, because there's a higher chance if you do not write the formula properly, you might just lose out on the numbers and the data that you have inserted, and you would not want that, and because you are not going to get a proper result. To get a proper result, you have to make sure that all the numbers that you are inserting, all the formulas that are inserting, and you want to copy it to another row or column, it is working. And this saves lot of your time, by the way. This dragging it down sort of really helps you, because let's say if everything is in one row or a column, you just have to drag it down, making sure that you're properly adding it, and that's about it. You do not need to worry about anything else other than that, because you will get the exact answer. And if you click onto this, you'll also will be able to see the formula in the formula bar. So it's not that you will be inserting a wrong formula, but if anybody wants to check on the formula, can check it here itself on the formula bar, right? So this is the formula bar, and they will be able to see the formula that you have inserted, right? So this is how the copying formula works. Now, the other thing that you can do is, for example, if you go to formulas, you see you can show formulas as well here. So in the formula auditing part, you can just go to show formulas, and you see all the formulas can be seen that has been used to compute, right? Again, if you just click on to this, you will be able to see the actual numbers. So let's say if you want to evaluate, see the formulas that has been used, just select the number. So let's say I want to select this number, and or else just select any cell and you will be able to see all the formulas. But for that selected cell is also highlighted of what formula has been used. As you see, all the formulas are visible to me right now, right? In case you want to error check also, you will be you might see some errors that has happened. You might have to trace few errors. So this is how you can trace errors as well in the Microsoft Excel document, right? So this is how with the formulas you will be able to trace errors and see if there are any errors that you have done with the formula part. The next is evaluating formula. For example, you want to evaluate a formula, you can see that what is the formula you're using and what are you trying to compute, right? For example, let's say I'm going to close show formula, and this is what I have selected, this cell. If you go to evaluate formula, right, and this cell which has been selected, just evaluate, you see what is the formula that has been given. So show formulas is something that you will see with the cell range, whereas the cell reference. And whereas with the evaluate formula, you will be able to understand if your formula is right or wrong, and which number has been computed with which number, right? And what is the whole calculation. Now, always make sure that you are inserting equal to before you're applying a formula. Make sure that you're double checking your formulas, making sure you're using the right arithmetic operator for your formulas, right? So make sure that you do all of these things before you're copying the formula as well. Sum, average, and multiplication all have their formulas and functions, whereas subtraction and division are the other ones which does not have a formula or a function. So you have to use the hyphen for subtraction and the forward slash for division, right? So this is how you are able to see all your formulas. To know more about formulas or how to move or copy a formula, please visit support.microsoft.com. Also, if you get some time, do finish a course on Microsoft Excel and earn few extra credits. Thank you. Hello, welcome to another session of Microsoft Excel. We have been learning about the different important functions and features of Microsoft Excel. While in last few sessions we learned about the library of formulas and how to use them, we also learned about the different ways that you can format a cell, edit your text, input your data, learn how to use the different features of the print view and the different view screens that are there in Microsoft Excel. Today we will be learning two very important functions. Mainly, we will start with freezing panes and then we will go to tell me more. So let's begin our session for the day. So as I said, we will start with freeze pane and then we will understand about tell me command. What is freeze pane? Now freeze pane is exactly like how it sounds. That means you select a pane and you freeze it. Now you must be thinking that pane as in you will be freezing a taskbar. No. Actually, with the help of freeze pane, you will be able to freeze a row or a column. Freeze panes are very useful when you have really long reports. Because what happens is, let's say when you're scrolling up, you might just lose out on the parameters itself or in which column is the data in. Sometimes the data sets are so long that when you're scrolling down and if you lose the column name altogether, then you might also misunderstand what the data is all about. And you would not want to do that. Well, to avoid that kind of mistake, you have to use freeze pane. And freeze pane can be used both on the columns and rows. So let's understand what is freeze pane and how to use freeze pane. The function of freeze pane is to lock rows and columns. When the user wants to scroll from one area of the worksheet to the other, they can use freeze pane to lock important rows and columns. The freeze pane command can be located in the view ribbon menu. As I was saying, the freeze pane is very important. You can locate it in the view ribbon menu and you can use it to freeze the important rows and columns. So let's see how to use freeze pane. We'll go back and we'll go to the document that we are working on. So let me open a new sheet. And I'm going to be writing few important things. For example, I'm going to be adding all the details here. Okay. So I would want this thing to be frozen, right? Because I will have all my data and I'll keep on have to scrolling it down. Now to do this, what we do is select this and you go to view, and in view you will be able to see, look for the freeze pane. When you go here, you can see freeze panes. Now let's say I go, see only the first row is frozen. So it's always better that you do this. And you will be able to see that there's a line that is frozen. For example, if I, one second, and I will use freeze top row. Now let's say I will go down. You can scroll as much down, but this will not move. So freezing pane basically helps you in freezing this so that whatever data that you look and however much you scroll, you won't be able to miss out on that. Now, what you can also do is, this is the way to freeze a row. How to freeze a column? For example, I'm going to write here I want to freeze this row, freeze this column. So what I do is I'll go here, go to freeze panes, and you see this downward arrow and freeze first column. Now, if I go here, you see I can scroll to as many columns as I want to, but my first column and my first row will remain fixed. Similarly, if I go down, I'll be able to not miss out on the data itself, right? So this is how you can make sure that all your columns are frozen. Use freezing panes specifically first row, first column whenever you want to select the data and making sure that you don't want to lose out on it when you're scrolling down. So then you can use freeze pane. You can also use unfreeze panes when you don't want to unfreeze any of the panes and want to keep it same. For example, what you can also do is, let's say you're sharing a selection part of the data and you want that to be concentrated, you can actually select the selection part itself and share it with your team. Whereas in case somebody is also going to work through that data, or it's always better to freeze the panes, specifically your first two rows or the first row, so that whenever they're scrolling any side in the worksheet, they will be missing out on the important points that the data is under, right? And this is usually for long sets of data, not the data that will fit in this worksheet space itself. No, this is mainly if you have to do one or two scrolling or more than that, and let's say per 100 200 sets or more than that sets of data, it is always better to freeze the panes. So this is all about freezing panes. Next is tell me what you want to do. It is located at the ribbon menu of Microsoft Excel. Users can enter words, phrases of the function they want to carry out next in the document, insert pictures, freeze pane. Now, what is freeze pane? What is tell me what you want to do? Let's go back. And let's understand this very interesting thing that is there in Microsoft Excel. You see this search button? This is tell me what you want to do. This is basically used when you want to search for something. For example, if I want to search for where is the Zoom, this will bring me to the Zoom ribbon menu. If I want to, let's say, write about how to use this formula, it will show me how to use that formula. You can search for any command that is related to Microsoft Excel, and it will basically show you either it will take you to support.microsoft.com, or it will show you where that function or that feature is located. Now, this part is also very important when you are not being able to find something in the ribbon menu. For example, let's say, you are looking for freeze panes. Now, even though you know it's in view, you're still not being able to locate it. What you just have to do is make sure that you're going to this ribbon menu and searching for the freeze panes, and you will be able to you will be able to see where freeze panes is located. And you can do that for each any functions, any formulas, any sort of features that you're looking for in Microsoft Excel. Doesn't mean that it has to be very much specific to a formula, or it can be only be of a certain function. No, it basically gives you a result of each and everything that Microsoft Excel might think is important for you to know. Most importantly, let's say if you're not being able to understand something, it will give you it will help you out with the support.training.com videos as well, which can help you out in understanding how to even use that function or feature or even compute it, right? So this is how my tell me more is very, very useful. If you want to share the document with somebody, you will be able to get that, and it will show that in the address book. Let's say you're looking for a certain command, you will be used this tell me more. So tell me more is very, very important. Anything that you think you're not being able to locate in the ribbon menu, because there are times when you might not be able to locate certain things in the ribbon menu, just make sure that you're visiting tell me you're just going here and putting on what you're looking for, exactly your requirement, and you can search for the same. It will provide you links, and it will also take you to that very function or that feature that you're looking for, so that you can work around it. Yes, so this is how the whole tell me more works. For references, do check out support.microsoft.com. Also, if you have some time, please visit Microsoft Learn to finish a course on Microsoft Excel. Now, assignment part 2. So, last assignment, you remember we had copied a data set in Microsoft Excel. We are going to be working with the same data set in Microsoft Excel. What you have to do is, one, you have to compute the prices of manufacturing, gross sales, sales, and profit. How you have to do it is you have to use the formula, and when you are clicking a screenshot, make sure you're clicking the screenshot with the formula. So not with the end result, but with the formula as well, because what we want to see is how much you've understood the formula. The next thing that we want you to do is insert a column beside sales, and you subtract discount from sales. So I will be taking you to the document. What I want you to do is beside sales, add a column, right? And you already know from the first sessions itself how to insert a row or a column. So insert a column, and there you subtract discount from sales. Now again, please make sure that you are using the formula and the function properly, and you know subtract doesn't have any function in Microsoft Excel. So you anyway have to use hyphen. Make sure you are doing that properly. Freeze the first row. So the parameters row needs to be frozen, and also try to figure out how to use tell me more by searching for average functions. Now, it's a very easy thing to look at
you know, when you are going to the formula bar and ribbon menu and looking for average functions. But what I want you to do is go to tell me more side and look out for the average functions. Now I'll just tell you how to compute things. Go back to the document where you will be working on. So as you see, this is the document. And what I want you to do it is, one, you will be taking out the total addition of sum of all these columns, which will go down in the bottom, right? Now you will be inserting one more column here just before COGS and just after sales, where you will be computing sales minus discount, right? So sales minus discount answer will come here, and you have to make sure that you're looking for the average formula by going to tell me more. This search where you see with the magnifying glass, you will be going here. Now, make sure you're clicking screenshots when you're adding all the formulas, because we want to see how you're using the formulas, right? So the screenshots will be clicked with the formulas. Make sure that you are also uh, freezing this pane so that whenever I am scrolling through, I will be able to see the what is written there, right? So this should be frozen. Make sure that you're freezing this one also, so it's able to see that what is the price, what is the gross sale that has happened, what is the discount, manufacturing price, etc. Make sure you're adding all the sums and doing all the computations proper. What you can do is go completely down where the table is ending. For example, you can insert after row 51 row itself and put the total here, right? So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you are inserting a column just before COGS and just after sales to compute how much after discount the sale has been. So sales minus discount. Hope the assignment is fun for you and you really have a good practice when you're doing the assignment. In case of any doubts, do let us know. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to another session of Microsoft Excel. In a previous session, we learned about how to sort data. Sorting data is very important when you have large sets of data and you want to be sorting out depending on, let's say, for a parameter like places, or depending if it's school, you would want it to be rank wise. You can go for an alphabetical, or you also can customize it as per your own requirement. Similarly, filter is also a very important function in Microsoft Excel. Filtering is a very similar thing when we say that we are filtering our data. For example, let's say if you have multiple datas on in a certain place or in a variety of places and you want to filter a selected part of it, filter function is something that you will be using in preparing and selecting that whole part of data. So let's understand how to do the selection part of the data. So today's session, we will be learning how to use filters. So let's begin our session for the day. So filter function allows the user to filter a range of data based on a certain criteria defined by the user. For example, let's say if you're talking about filter and you want to filter out uh, the number of people have got a certain product, right? So you will be filtering out that product. Now you might be thinking what happens to the rest of the sets of data. Well, fear not, your information does not get lost. Filtering is mainly used to focus attention on a specific part of the data. So we will be learning today how to use filter, right? And why should we will be using filter when we are working with large sets of data? So let's understand with examples of how to use filter and use case scenarios of where filter function should be used. So we will go back and let's open the Microsoft Excel document. Now you remember when we were working in this document, the one that we used it for the assignment purpose, that there are a lot of parameters. You see, one, there is a segment, then there is country, then there is the product, then there is a discount band, unit sold, manufacturing, and also there is sales price, right? Now, for example, let's say if you want to understand how do I use a filter in segment, right? So what you can do is select this column, yeah. In the home ribbon menu, go to sort and filter. You see sort and filter here, and you can do filter. The moment you apply filter, see, you go and filter. So the moment I'll apply filter here, I get one drop down icon in the column itself. Click onto the drop down icon and you will see text filters. So by default, always, because there is so much of data, all the segments will be selected. What you can do is, let's say I just want to see how many small businesses. So you can select here and click on OK, and you will only get to see the sort a small business part of the selected part of the data. Now, what happens is, you see here the rows have got hidden. So if I am just working on this data or I want to copy this data, I can do that as well. It doesn't mean that I have lost out on the data. It's just that I don't need the other parts right now. I just want to focus on the selected part of this data, right? What exactly happens is when you have larger sets of data where there is 200, 300, 400 sets of data which is being updated, there are times when you just don't want your team's attention to be focused on a certain part of the data. For example, here I just wanted to my focus on the small business part of the data. Similarly, I can also shift my focus to the fact that I just want to see, for example, if I go here and add filter, so let's say I want to select all of them and add filter, right? And let me select, so I can remove select all, which is by default, and select enterprise here. Go to the country and just select France, Germany here. And then I can keep on putting filter till I get that specific data. Now, the more filters you add in different segments, the more your data is going to get smaller because you're looking for a very, very specific part. For example, today, if I want to see what is the sales price or the manufacturing price, right, of the products, and there is a cap that I have used, let's say, for example, 120 here. Yeah, I would want to see all the products that has been manufactured with 120 bucks. Similarly, if I want to see the sales price, and each and every sales price differs, but there is a certain, you know, like in a lot of places, most of the product sales price is 75 rupees. Then I'm going to filter out the 75 rupees to see in which places and products have 75 rupees have been, the sales price of the products. So very similarly, you have to filter out till you get that selected part. Now, if you're thinking that you're losing out on information, no, you won't be losing out on information here. It's just that the rows and the columns, the rows get hidden because you're looking for a very, very specific set of data. And filters is something where mostly you know, it's your columns that you apply the filter on because you will put all your parameters here of that data, right? And the rows will contain the data that you require. So it is always better that you use filter function because if you are sending a larger Excel sheet to your team members, to the target audience that you would want, they might just get lost with whichever one. So even if you highlight it, still they're bound to get lost if you share the whole data with them. But let's say you filter this data out and select this only part, and then what you can do is select this part, Control C,
say here. So this is my selected part, right? And what I can do is select text. So you see, I have already got my selected part of the data. What I can do is I can even cut, copy, paste this and send it to the team member saying that this is the part I want to know what exactly is going on, right? So you see, only this part has got copied. I haven't lost out on any of the data. It's just that I have filtered that data for a very, very specific use. So anytime that you would want to filter your data, make sure that you are using the sort and the filter option. Now let's say, let me remove this. I'll remove this later. Let me go back to that. So let's say I want to go here and do select all and select all. See, now that I've got all of the data here, what I can do is, let's say I can put here in all of them filter. For example, let me do government. Okay. Then let me do select or I can do USA and I've put OK. And instead of doing this, then I'm going to put here so I'm selecting filters on each and every column. Yeah. As you can see that my data has already decreased from where it was, right? The more filters you put, the more your data is going to get constrained and smaller. Now, here is the thing. Always use filters when you know that you are missing out on the most important part of the data. I know that we have learned about how to highlight cells and if you can highlight the cells if you want to showcase something, that's always one way. But then you do not want your data to get missed. So let's say you want to know how much these products have sold out for and how many units, then you should make sure that you are looking at that data and you know uh, you are looking at that data and making sure that this can be used for presenting, right? So let's say this is the data that you're looking for, you can filter it out. And you can always make sure that you can copy paste that data and use it somewhere else as well to show that this is what the condition is. Only that selected part will get saved here. The other parts are not going to be copy pasted when you're copy pasting the data, right? Now, once you go here, let's say you want to clear out all the filters, you can just clear and you see all my filters will go because and then if you click on filter again, you see I don't have the filter option anymore. So if you do not have the drop down option, make sure that you are using the drop down option. Again, you select this part, go to filter and you can filter it, or else you can select this part and click on filter again and the filtering option will go, right? So just make sure that whenever you're using filter, whenever you want to filter out certain parts of the data and present it, use the filter option. Again, if you want to sort them, you can also sort them A to Z, Z to A, but make sure that you're using custom sorting because what happens with sorting is, see, sorting is one of a value, right? It will only change that value because you have decided to
sort that data out. Unless and until you are using a conditional formatting with your custom sorting, you won't be able to see the other rows getting changed as well. But for filter, that's not the case. In filter, whenever you're filtering one set of the data, the other sets of the data also gets impacted, and you can only see that selected filter part of the data in other parameters as well. You won't be able to see the other values. So the basic for sorting and filtering is filtering can affect all your rows and columns because you have filtered and selected a certain part of the data. Whereas for sorting is only column wise. So you have to make sure that you are using conditional formatting while sorting because you would want to show that this is the thing that I have already sorted. This is the result, and you have custom sorted it out so that you can see results based on the sorting that you did. So this is all about sorting and filter. Now, if you want to know about filtering data in a range or table, make sure that you're visiting support.microsoft.com. Thank you. To Microsoft Excel, another session of it. In the past few sessions, we have been learning all the important functions and features of Microsoft Excel. We started our journey learning the ribbon menus, and we have followed it to understand how to edit and format cells, how to insert them, how to insert data, input data, even learned the basic formulas. Today we will be learning another use of Microsoft Excel, a very important use of it, which is charts. Before I begin with charts, let me tell you something about why do we require charts in Microsoft Excel. So we'll be talking about inserting charts and recommended charts today. What exactly are charts? Charts in Microsoft Excel helps the user in presenting the data analysis with visualizations. As the data sets are bigger, charts help in capturing the attention of the audience. Now, understand this. There are times when you will be needed to show monthly sales report, right? Now to show this sales report, you will think about how to create that chart, right? And each and every chart is very important because you're capturing the attention of your target audience by showing a data representation, a visualization out of it. Now, sometimes when you are representing data, it is very difficult to see how exactly has your data, has there been an increase in the price? Has there been an increase in the sales? Because there's so many rows and columns, your data might get lost to the audience and they will keep on going back and forth to the document to understand how to make use of it. Well, to do that, you do not require to send them the whole data sheet. What you can do is create charts out of it and present them to your audience. Once you present that chart to your audience, you will be able to understand that using those charts, you are able to focus on how to create those charts. One, second of all, the exact data that you want your target audience's attention, you will be able to achieve that as well. Each and every data set that you analyze is very important. So how we will be learning right now how to insert charts. So we will go back and we will go to Microsoft Excel here. Now let me do this first. And so let me put Jan. Okay, so I have actually put down all the months. Now I'm going to put the sales.
So I've put down all the sales here. Now I will select this, hold these two columns as in the selected part of the cell range that I wanted to be represented in chart, and go to insert. Once I go to insert, you see there is recommended charts, right? So we will go here because we want to use a bar chart, and we can do a, let's say, this kind of a bar chart, a stacked column. As you see, I can see the price range. I can also go here and let me use maybe the first choice. Yes. So I have got my price range. So my month is here and my prices are on this side, right? Now what I can do here is I can add chart elements as well. For example, if I want to add access title, which is your site title. So you will have one title here, one title here. Let's say I want to edit this. I can just write sales and select this as well and write if I want to. Then I can even change the, I can write here, let's say sales projection month wise. You can just click on them and you will be able to show. So you see that Jan it's started, Feb it has grown a bit, March it has grown a bit, April it gone really high. Again in May it has come down. Again it started growing in June and July. Followed by August it has grown. September it has dipped a bit. Again in October, November, December it has grown. So you are able to see how much your sales price is. See, it's very, very simple. You select these two rows. Yeah. So I'm going to select these two rows. Go to insert. Go to charts and you will see you'll be able to see the different charts that are available. For example, because we used a bar chart, and you can also make it 3D as well. Let's say I want to show it like this or like this maybe, or in a, because these are more stacked columns. You also have this 2D bars where it starts from the bottom and goes till top. So it's like a clustered bar, right? So you have clustered bar also in 2D and 3D. So then there are a lot of ways you can project your data. There is bar chart, there is line or area chart, there is pie chart, there is scatter chart or bubble chart, there is statistic chart, there is hierarchy chart, waterfall, funnel, stock, surface or radar chart, and even combo chart, right? Now each and every chart is very, very different. As you are seeing that each and every chart that we are using here has a very different use of it. For example, if we are using pie chart, this won't look good. But for example, you want to show in which locations, yeah, you are able to project much more sales, right? So what I can do is let me remove this chart first, or let me add data in another column. I'll put month, I said area, division. show this, right? Now what you do is you select all of them. Yeah. Go to this insert pie, and let's say I want to show this. You will be able to see that this is the majority of the population. This is 15%. So the other populations as well. And in the bottom, it has been already color coded as per the colleges. So let's say you want to select, you know, the number of students in college, in each and every college that you are covering. You will be able to write down the colleges and put it in percentages so that you are also able to see how your pie chart looks like. And most importantly, you can format them as well as per your requirement, right? So this is how you can be using pie chart. Now, different charts has different use. For example, line or area chart is mainly, let's say if you're showing stock market and you are showing the growth of the market or the dip in the market, line or area chart is very, very important. Even to show trends, let's say in months or days, where let's say this trend has been really trending. Something has been really trending, whereas it has dipped in this month because this does not work in this month. For example, you want to show the price of AC, and there's only sometimes the price of AC. There's a demand for AC, which is summer season, right? Now, let's say if you're doing a analysis on when the when people buy mostly the ACs, you can use the line or area chart for that, right? Because all the other months will be down. For example, winter month there is no use for ACs. Monsoon also there is not so much use of ACs, right? But for example, in a summer time, when every household will be trying to get an AC because it's really really hot, you will see there is a high in the trend. So this is how you can do insert line or area chart. Then you have the hierarchy chart. Hierarchy chart is when you have to compare parts to a category from a hierarchy. Then you use the hierarchy chart, right? So you basically understand, let's say, what are the different elements that are there in your data, how to represent those elements. You use the hierarchy chart there. Then you have the statistic charts. Now, the statistic charts is mainly for all the statistical analysis that you show in your data. It is very, very important because for a lot of people, they do a statistical analysis on their data. Yeah, it's just not using the arithmetic operator and finding out a basic sum or a minus or subtraction or a multiplication or division, because Microsoft Excel is also has a lot of statistical formulas and calculations that you can conduct. It is very important that you also use appropriate chart when you are using inserting charts in the document. Then you have the scatter and the bubble chart is basically to show a relationship between the set of values. So let's say you have two different set of values and you want to show a relationship, that's when you'll be using the scatter chart, right? So this is how the scatter chart is used. The next is the combo chart. Here you will be able to combine two charts and to highlight different types of information. And also there is waterfall, funnel, stock, surface and radar chart, which is also very important in case you want to show different kinds of chart designs with your data. So always use an appropriate chart with your data that you analyze. The next presentation, the next slide that we will see, understand is recommended charts. Now, for example, if you have seen this, the first thing that you see in the insert is the recommended chart. So let's go to recommended charts and see what is recommended chart all about. As I was saying, that it is very important for all of us to use a proper chart. If you go to insert and let's say I've selected this particular, so I'm going to delete this, but I've selected this particular data set. What I can also do is I can go to recommended charts and see how it should be, which chart should I be using. Now, as I was telling you, it is very, very important to use an appropriate chart for your document. You just cannot use each and any chart because the design looks good in your eyes. No, to represent your chart, you have to use something that will capture and grab the attention of your target audience. Also, you want your data to be analyzed properly and represented it well. So it is very, very important that you use the recommended charts. Now, for example, let me delete this chart. Yeah, and let me select these columns, this month and sales, and go to recommended charts. You see, there's a line chart that they have shown. There's a clustered column that they have shown, which we used. There's a stacked area that they have shown. There is a pie that they have recommended. There's a hierarchy chart funnel which is there. And there is a normal Pareto also which is there. You see, because this shows the jump from, from the bottom of the prices to how it has gone up to the whole chart title here. There's so many different elements that are present in your chart that you will be able to work on the same, right? So it is always important that you use something like the recommended chart to understand which chart is as per your need. One, it also saves your time and effort in thinking and brainstorming of what charts to use because you can just select from the recommended chart itself. Make sure you're using the right columns. Exactly select the part which you want it to be represented in data. It's not that each and every column will require data, each and every column will require a chart. No, what you require is a proper visual representation, right? So make sure you're using selecting the appropriate columns and rows when you want to represent some data. And once you do that, you can directly go to insert and go to recommended charts to recommend you which design of the charts to use. Because there are so many layouts, it is always better that you use a a template which is easier for you to use. Most importantly, you understand the data analysis part and you can make everybody also understand, right? Now that we have learned about how to insert data charts using recommended charts and what is inserting charts, make sure that you visit support.microsoft.com to learn more about how to create a chart. And also, if you get some extra time, do visit Microsoft Learn to finish a course on Microsoft Excel and earn few extra credits. Thank you.